girl, I know you think it's a game, but it is absolutely not, okay? This is the energy supplement from Just Move Supplements. That's right. It's damn near all gone, girl. And that's because I had to get that energy up so I can complete the workout, so I can give y'all this body, this transformation, get into it, okay? And I'm done working out now, so that's why we're moving on to the protein shake. Oh yes, it's already in there, girl. It's already made right here. This is the mixture of the banana pudding, the chocolate cake, and the buttercream cupcake. And you really want to be fancy, you can go ahead and add that blueberry muffin if that's what you want to do, girl. But for me, it's these three right here, okay? You put that with some almond milk, you mix it all up in honey, okay? Your muscles have gained life, new energy, agility. Get into it, okay? Just Move Supplements. Thank you very much. Hold up, Chief. Okay, don't forget about that TLC NutriBurst to get that multivitamin powder, because we all need a little extra. And child, if you want that sea moss that go down smooth, don't come up rough, okay? Get into the TLC Nautica sea moss. Yes, get that from me. And child, if your stomach hurt and you need to move some things around so you can be free, okay, go ahead and get that ISO tea down below in the description box. Get it all from me. Come on in, come on in, come on in, not come on in, not come. Sorry, y'all know I'm weird, whatever.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. So let's go ahead. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl BondyBlue. Okay, follow me on Instagram and let's get into the video. Right.
What's up, people? How you doing? How you live? How is everyone? I hope everyone is doing well on this good Monday. Child, listen, thank you so much, Sanivia. I think that's how you pronounce that. Sanivia Knight, for becoming a member. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you, Saki, for coming through to moderate. Hey, Tawanza, Jonah, okay, Kay Shackleford, okay, Lanita, Cash, Catlia, Bohemian Bay, Simply Telly, Purely Terry. Okay, listen. Simply Simply Telly, Purely Telly, Purely Terry. I'm gonna need y'all not to do that again. Okay, please do not comment one after one another, because y'all tongue twisted the hell out of me. Hey, CC Freak, what's going on? Everybody, I'm so grateful for y'all coming through today. Hey, Tina. Hey, Tracy, Nicole, Chris, Sharella, Rantwood, Ricardo. Love to see y'all in the room. Hey, Devin. Thank you so much for the super chat, my love. For the wild berry incense recommendation. Got some today at the herb shop, and you was right. I told you. Listen, I just finished. Look, mine just burnt out a second ago. Mine burnt out. Hey, everybody. Okay, listen. Okay, like no makeup stuff on my lips, but I just got out the shower and I am like girl, like I'm just not, I'm not in a place where I'm going to wear makeup just because my skin is doing something weird during the season change. Like, I'm a human, I'm a woman. I'm hormonal. And I'm going to be a representation of a real one today, okay? Because we're going to come to you with the hair and the skin and the lips moisturized and all. But yes, no, I am not at my perfection level. I'm not. Thank you so much, Kavan, for the hold up, Chief. Take these coins. Thank you so much for that super chat. I appreciate you, love. But you know what? It's okay. You know what I'm saying? This why I be like this sometimes, because I want y'all to feel like it's okay, because don't nobody look perfect all the time. Don't nobody look perfect all the time. I hate it, okay? I hate that they don't look perfect all the time, but what am I gonna do? I'm not putting on makeup just to do a live today. It's just not today. Like, I did that yesterday, but not today. Today we're going to like let it flow. Y'all know what I really want to do. Thank you, Princess, for the super chat. Listening while at work, only for you, Bondy. Oh, thank you so much, love. I appreciate you. Speaking of listening, you guys, I really want to watch like old movies that we grew up watching as kids, as adults, and do podcast reviews. Because yesterday, me and Lyric just so happened to be in here, and we were watching. What were we watching? I think we had just finished watching the game. If you are a member or a Patreon and you were not there for that live before they blocked it everywhere, I'm sorry, but that's usually what happens when I do watch alongs. If they clock that it is copyright, they'll block it anyway, even though it's unlisted. So eventually it's going to have to come down completely. So when I do those, it's best for y'all to show up when I'm actually doing them versus trying to catch a playback because they may not always be there. Because until I get a website, I don't have a place for y'all to actually go and watch something that I've taken down from YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have a place to send y'all a file that large, so it just has to be somewhere. But I really want to like sit and watch Waiting to Exhale again and do like a podcast form review of it, because me and Lyric were watching it yesterday and I was like, y'all, they really grazed over the fact that this is what women really be going through. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much. I appreciate all the love I see in the comments. Just because I'm not reading it, don't mean I don't see it. But y'all know I gotta I gotta stay on task. Thank you, Sabi for the super chat. But yes, y'all, I'm gonna do that at some point because I feel like it was such a different. Discord only allows for you to send a certain amount of gigabytes. As y'all have seen, I can only send y'all like, what is it, 49 to 50 gigabytes, and I have, upgraded, so I can only send y'all like so much. And then with Dropbox, the amount of people, I don't know how that would actually work. But I'm thinking about a way, but I told y'all the website is coming. So once the website comes, anything that YouTube takes down will still be available on my website. So at the beginning of the year, when my website launches, I want everybody to make sure that they are subscribed, signed up, and that they are viewing my content from my website, so that you don't have any of these issues that we have here on YouTube where you're not getting notifications, where you do not see things once YouTube has decided they won't take it down. Yes, the Zoom situation, but you also have to like pay in order to have the amount of people that I would have to house. So, step by step, day by day, y'all. But I'm looking into it. I'm looking into it. But for the time being, get there when I say get there. Okay, get there when I say get there. Stop banking on the fact that it's gonna be there later. Okay, sometimes a live show is just that, a live show, and once it's over, that's it. Okay, so I love y'all though, and I'm gonna keep trying to work it out. So that website shit will, definitely help us a lot with this. Okay, right. Well, you can, yeah. I can't give y'all a link to something that's blocked. See what I'm saying? Okay. I appreciate y'all trying to fix this issue for me in the comments. I really, really do. I love when people throw things at me. But it's cool. Bondy, I'm looking for a photographer for pay. Can I email you for possible work? Currently I am overwhelmed. So I would like a chance to like get on my footing. I've been trying to figure out the green room situation, because I know Lovely T does that a lot, but I thought that was just like, you get on there and you talk. I didn't realize that was actually like video form of something. But either way, y'all know I already have a podcast. Y'all know I already did like a full season review of the very first season of Love and Hip Hop New York, which I never reviewed on YouTube, but I did a podcast review of it on BondyBlue podcast, BondyBlue review. Y'all make sure y'all look that up. I'm on Spotify. I'm on all of those things. So make sure y'all support my podcast. See the stuff that I have already made. Okay. Check out the stuff that I have already given to y'all. So wait, before we move on, because we're about to get into the show, there's about 400 of y'all in here. I want to remind y'all that the Ooh Ladies First panel has a difference in schedule for the upcoming weeks due to the versus battle and Thanksgiving being on Thursdays for the next 3 weeks. We will be live on different days for the panel. So this Wednesday, the Ooh Ladies First panel will be on my channel on Wednesday instead of Thursday. So on Thursday night, don't look for us. On Friday morning, don't look for us. Look for us on Wednesday night. The next week, which is Thanksgiving week, is Jay Lee's week, and it's going to be on the 23rd, all right, which is a Tuesday. Don't look for us on Thanksgiving. Don't look for us on Black Friday. Look for us on Tuesday, the week of Thanksgiving, for the Ooh Ladies First panel. And then the following week, there's another versus battle between Bone Thugs and Harmony and 3-6 Mafia, which I have to be there for. So that is Jamie's week. And we will be on Wednesday, the 1st of December. First of the month, wake up, wake up, wake up. It's the first of the month. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Okay, so listen, I don't know who's gonna win. I don't know who's gonna win that versus battle. I'm all in because I am a Bone Thugs and Harmony fan for real, but a bitch is a 3-6 Mafia fan also. LASHAE, okay, Project Pat. Okay, so listen. I can't wait. I'm gonna be all up in the house for both of those verses. So yeah, y'all. We really are trying to be professional. When I look around and I see the girls and the way the girls are going, they really help me stay on task. I'll say that. Because I really do this from a creative standpoint, y'all, believe it or not. Um, I'm in this from the creative standpoint. There's a business side of this that has to be paid attention to in order for it to be successful. And a lot of the times I get that from Jamie and Niecy. I mean, Jamie and Jay Lee. Me and Niecy are more so in the mental and the like the artistic of this shit. Jamie and Jay Lee have it more so on the this is what we need to do is a list, your graphics, okay? So we need each other. We definitely need each other for things to work the way they do. So shout out to the Ooh Ladies First panel. We hope to see you guys on those altered days when we are giving y'all what we give y'all every week, just on a different day. Okay. But I love you guys. I appreciate you. And let's go ahead and get into the show. So we're first going to start off with Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City have all of the drama for y'all. Okay. These white whales are giving it to you in case you did not know. Okay. So this episode is the episode where we are trying to get to the bottom of what happened to Jen. Jen, she got off the bus. Was she arrested? What's going on? What did she get arrested for? Oh my God, did Coach know what's going on? Do I have to worry about my businesses? Oh, I'm on the phone with all my lawyers. It is surviving Jen Shah. Okay, that's what's going on Salt Lake City. It is a lot. And I feel like it is not getting the attention that y'all are giving Candace for saying your mama. I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go. But people are over here stealing from the disabled and the elderly. People are over here being manipulative, lying, and actively trying to hurt one another in a serious fucking way. Somebody called the police. Meredith, I think you, much like myself, felt like Jen's apology to your son was bullshit, but she pulled out her best acting chops to make sure that that shit hit, okay? It hit, but it was fake. And I know you know it was fake. And I know you're friends with Lisa because you must be like Lisa in some way. Let me tell y'all something. When people say birds of a feather flock together, they mean that shit. What they mean is that if you have a friend that will try to set somebody up, if you have a friend that'll try to fuck over somebody, if you have a friend like Lisa who goes around exacting revenge on her friends for shit they don't even know that they did wrong, like forming a relationship with they cousin or just speaking up for themselves, okay? Because I mean, honestly, like that's what Lisa does. Nobody really does anything to Lisa. And Lisa is like out here fucking over y'all businesses. Oh, you have an event? I'm going to call the caterer that I know and ask them to pull out. Oh, you're having an event? I'm going to call and make sure I'm going to send somebody over to your house to bartend for you, and I'm going to bring my liquor because I'm always going to support my business, but I'm going to send you the bartenders that I know are always drinking and fucking up. So when they act the fool at your party and you come to me with the bullshit, I'm going to then turn it on you and act like you're trying to ruin my business, and I'm going to play victim. Like Lisa has done so many things throughout the seasons that makes me feel like she is actively out here trying to harm people whenever she feels like they have in some way disrespected her, annoyed her, or made her feel like she doesn't have the power she thinks she has. Meredith is different. Meredith knows how to wield her power with more control. So just as Lisa will fuck over y'all for any little thing, Meredith waits until you've really fucked over her. Meredith waits. Meredith see, this is why I like Meredith. I'm not even gonna lie, because Meredith is the type of person that's gonna sit and wait for the perfect opportunity. And I think that somebody hit her up, or she knew something was going on and she was like, I have some information on Jen Shaw. Can I get in contact with someone about this at the FBI? Like, them white people be knowing who to call. Them white people be having real good connections. Please believe me. So just like they knew everybody who was around Jen, Whitney, Lisa, Meredith, Mary, everybody knew that something was amiss with the way she was coming up with all this money. A $80,000 party for another person that is not in your family. You are flossing out of control. Okay, you were flossing and you were out here balling out of control, and the balling was fake. The balling was facetious. The balling was fugazi, because you were getting it by stealing from disabled and elderly people. Now, that's no different than a lot of the other people on this show that have their generational wealth probably leading back to slavery. But we'll go ahead and let that go for the moment. But either way, yeah, I saw something recently on TikTok where they were talking about all of the white American families that have slave charters in their like attics and basements and shit, because their families own slaves. So they would have like the charters passed down family for family, but they'll never turn it in because they don't want black people to be able to come to them like, give me my money since you wanted to sell my body. And now we've determined that that was fucked up and you should have to pay people when you do stuff like that to them. That's why they don't want us to know where we come from, because then we would really be able to trace that shit all the way back to, you sold my family member this year, that year, and then this happened, and by way of that, and you owe me all them ends. Y'all, when I saw that, I was like, a lot of the times I think about the Salt Lake City women who are always talking about being pioneers as people who have gained their amass of wealth in some way from the shipment and selling of black bodies. Something, I'm sorry, but I will never not have that in my head when I hear them talking about being pioneers and how they have their money. Because everybody wants to talk about money, 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 but let's be real about how y'all got that motherfucking money. Okay, now I'm not giving y'all anything from fact, but I'm just telling y'all how a lot of these things sound to the universal consciousness that I have. Okay, the connectedness that I have tells me that y'all out here amassing wealth off of people's bodies. But now that we're 100 years removed from that, you want to turn around and look at Jen like, I knew something was amiss, because how did she get all that money? Like, come on now, y'all. When you really think about it, come on now, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I got to put that out there because, I'm a black lady. But anyway, sorry, y'all. I just feel like everybody's full of shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's like crying. Lisa calls her husband with this fake, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. Then she calls all 6 of her lawyers. Lisa wants to know how they knew where she was. Jenny says they probably had a warrant. I don't like Jenny, y'all. I thought I was going to like her. Don't like Jenny. Just telling y'all. The more I'm around her on the show, the more I don't like her. Whitney has also wondered where the money was coming from, but Whitney thought that she just had a sugar daddy or some shit like that. Lisa, were you in business? Were you in business with Jen in some way? Because you were way too worried. Like, I didn't see Heather on the phone with any of her lawyers. I didn't see Heather on the phone with any of her lawyers. I didn't see Whitney on the phone with any of her lawyers. So that makes me feel like whatever fugazi shit that Jen was into, Lisa was probably connected in some manner. Meredith told. It to me, it's a connectedness. I don't know whether it was Meredith by herself or I don't know, y'all, but it definitely feels like a Meredith Lisa catchback situation for how this happened. I'm sorry. The producers are trying to make us feel that way, and it could be an outside source. They could have been watching her for months, whatever. But the fact that they called and gave her the heads up, and she had time to leave, and then they knew that where you were, and y'all were like, y'all were at a drop-off point. Y'all weren't even like, actually, y'all were at a drop-off point. Y'all were getting ready to get on the road. So all of that makes me feel like, no, somebody tipped them off, just like they're saying. And then when Lisa said it first, that made me feel like, Lisa, you saying it first, you're smart. I know what you're doing. You're bringing it up first so that people won't think, well, Lisa's the one that's asking. Why would we think it was her? But neither Whitney or Heather are that stupid, because both of them noticed that Lisa was on the phone with all 6 of her lawyers talking about how she was shaking. Oh my God, I'm like literally shaking right now. And someone must have tipped them off. They peeped it. They feel like she knows more than she's letting on. Then the blogs start reporting on the money laundering. Everyone is crying. Then they find out that Jen has been arrested. Lisa and Heather are crying. Lisa's fake crying. Heather's really crying. I don't know why. I know why. Heather forms unrealistic codependent attachments to her friends, specifically to Jen. But yes, they all read about how she bought folks' data. Basically, Whitney was breaking it down, which makes me realize Whitney pretends to be stupid. It's white women's like greatest asset is to always pretend as if they are unassuming when they're some of the most abusive people in life. Thank you, Shaniqua, for the super chat. Love you back, my love. Okay, and thank you, Lakeisha Tucson, for the super sticker. I appreciate y'all so much. So the blogs start reporting on the money laundering. Everyone is crying. Then they find out that she's been arrested. Lisa and Heather are crying. Whitney thought Jen had a sugar daddy. Then they read about how she bought folks' data and made the elderly and disabled sign up for auto pay for something. And Jenny pointed out that it was so weird that Whitney knew so much about it. And I was just like, you also were giving up information about how they were going to raid her house and all of that shit. A lot of y'all are talking like y'all know about people who have had this done to them. Y'all have had friends who have had, first of all, y'all know how to evade taxes. That is what Whitney was talking about. Rich people know how to evade taxes. So Whitney was giving y'all a game about how you set up a business, right? And you could basically for 5 years say that you never received any type of not compensation, but you didn't make any money. Basically, for 5 years, you could have a business and tell the IRS that you didn't make any money because you're pouring all of that money back into the business. So you can basically get away scot-free from paying taxes for 5 years if you start a business, as long as you're pouring all of that money into the business and reporting not having a profit. Okay. Okay. I love when somebody starts off a statement like this. Whitney doesn't pretend to be stupid. Everyone assumes she's stupid because of her voice. Okay. Okay. I disagree, Bondi. This investigation has been going on since 2012. Jen had to be on the Fed's radar 9 years. Lisa probably heard about it. I don't think anyone tipped off the Feds. Okay. That's your opinion. I think somebody tipped them off about where they were so that they can come and get her on camera. I think very much there is something about the attitude of Meredith and Lisa that makes them look guilty. I'll let that sit for a second. Okay. Back to Whitney. Whitney is just a rich woman that knows how to evade paying taxes like most of these rich people do, if you ask me. But she understood the telemarketing situation doesn't mean that she was involved, but she just understood I feel like anybody that's seen We Care So Much, or there's so many documentaries and movies about the way that people legally rip off the elderly and the disabled because they don't know how to go and they don't know how to get their names off of these things. They don't know how to get online and find out how to deactivate and all. You take your card information, and a lot of times to take your card information, they still be charging you, even if you do take your card information out of said system. So it was a lot going on in the conversations about the money situation, which basically told me that all of the rich people know how to evade taxes. And that's what everybody has been out here doing, finding ways to make businesses, finding ways to bring in more money without having to pay taxes. Like, that's what all of this seems like to me, which is why all of them knew in one way or another what was going on or how to go about it and what the business aspect of it was, because everybody that is in their circles and around them probably does these things because everybody's rich. Okay. But yeah, we saw the police go to her house through the ring cam video. Her son comes outside with his hands up, which I feel like, did y'all have to show up to her house with an AK-47? I often wonder, what do the government think people are doing when they're stealing money? Do you think they're like drug dealers or something? Like, I'm trying to understand why y'all always have to go to people's doors with AK-47s. Like, what the fuck was that about? Like, was that necessary? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody is accused of harming, killing anybody. Nobody is accused of anything that's actually like a physical threat. So what was the point of all of that? I'm not saying, I literally said they've been watching her. I literally said they probably knew, but they didn't know at that exact moment where she was, which is why she was able to get out. And I absolutely feel like that is probably something that she would have wanted to handle off camera, but somebody in production or on the show, Meredith or Lisa or both, tipped off the federale hood of where they were so that the shit can get caught on camera. The case suddenly picked up momentum, screams that someone cooperated, because if it started in 2012, why not arrest her sooner? Especially if they had all this evidence. Okay? I really do believe it was Meredith and Lisa. I believe it was the both of them. I don't know why, but something feels like Meredith was way too happy about it. Meredith knew. Meredith did not give a fuck. She was like, girl, whatever. She was in the tub, bitch. She was pouring in more bubbles. She could have cared less. And Lisa was pretending to be scared. Lisa's on the phone with 100 different people. Like, Lisa was pretending for the cameras. And Meredith is back at the house acting like, oh, well, like, I'm sorry, but all the energy of that screams either we knew ahead of time or we tipped somebody off. But either way, we could have in some way helped Jen not go through this on camera, and we decided to let her go through it. Like, it definitely felt something along those lines. I don't care what anybody's talking about. So Meredith is at the house in Vail, and Lisa calls her to tell her what happened. Meredith says that she isn't surprised, and too many things didn't add up about how much money Jen was making. And Meredith says, well, at least I'm not crazy. And you guys just, come on to the house. We have a beautiful house here in Vail. It's wonderful. Just come on through. Whitney feels like that's why Jen starts so many companies, so that you can dump $1 million into a startup, claim zero profit for 5 years. Lisa is like, how does she know how to wash dirty money? She knows how to evade taxes like all of you rich white people do. I noticed how Lisa and Jenny were very much trying to draw attention to Whitney's understanding of what was going on, as if that made it seem as if Whitney was in some way involved. I didn't like that, and I peeped it, which makes me look at Lisa even more so like, bitch, were you involved? Because you're acting dumb for somebody that has several businesses and has taught her children how to start businesses. Girl, get the fuck out of here with that. Mary finds Meredith in the tub when she shows up to the house, and Meredith gives her the deets on the SWAT team coming to get Jen. And Meredith says, I'm not surprised. I just wasn't surprised. Whitney and Mary have beef. So does Jenny and Mary. Everybody has beef with Mary for some reason. Isn't that funny? Lisa says, keep an open mind because we all need to take accountability. I said, Lisa, I know you're not talking about somebody needing to take accountability where you don't ever take no damn accountability, girl. Mary says that she was scared of Jen and she always knew what she was capable of. Meredith says that Jen stole from her store one time, which is the reason why she knew. You know what I'm saying? Because you kept somebody employed that stole from my store. So basically what happened is Jen had Meredith's manager of one of her stores open up the store after hours so Jen and her people could come in and shop. Jen comes in, spends a few $100s, and on the security cameras, you see one of the men who was assisting her walk out with a green clutch. So the manager knows that this happened. The manager calls Meredith and tells her, Meredith says, just send him a text and just say, hey, maybe you guys just forgot, keep it cute, right? They kept it cute. The guy brings the clutch back the next day. Okay. And so after that, it's like we realized you were stealing, right? Like, what the fuck? Okay. Lisa says that she paid for an Uber for Jen one time, and Jen never made it to her destination, which was kind of Lisa insinuating that Jen could have been being dropped off at another man's house. Like, oh, so not only is she, doing illegal shit, but now you're trying to make it seem like she's cheating on her husband. Lisa, bitch, you are guilty. I don't care. You're really, really, y'all are trying to basically pull out everything negative that y'all know about Jen all at one time. Now that all of this is going on, and to me, it's catchback. It's the slow wait that y'all was waiting on when Jen was wrecking all of that havoc last season, talking to people crazy, screaming at everybody, and doing all of the shit that she was doing. They waited until the perfect moment for the gotcha. And to me, this feels like Meredith and Lisa's perfect moment for the gotcha. So Whitney says she feels like until they talk about it and get to the bottom of it, everybody's in danger. Okay. Because Lisa isn't being 100% upfront about what it is that she might know about Jen and why she did not leave, or, why she didn't stop, get out the car in an Uber shot, whatever the fuck they talking about with this Uber situation. But they trying to drag her. Yes. They're trying to drag her through the gutter, but she's already there. She's already in the gutter. You don't need to drag her anymore. She's already in the gutter. And that's what I'm saying. Child, don't nobody care if Jen is cheating on Coach Shaw. Coach Shaw, the girl plot Chaplin. Child, if Coach Shaw ain't cheating on Jen, bitch, the sky is green. And I've never seen it be green. I've seen it be orange, yellow, purple, blue. Never seen it be green. I don't feel bad for Jen. Don't get me wrong. I don't feel bad for Jen at all. I'm just saying I see what's going on here. I see what's happening here. And you know what? Like, can we go back to Jenny for a second? Because this Jenny and her beef with Mary is such bullshit to me. Such bullshit. You told Mary to shut the fuck up, and she told you don't talk to her like that. Don't curse at her like that. And so now you're trying to act like you have beef with Mary for a real reason. Girl, stop. The only person that has real beef with Mary is Whitney, and that's because Mary tried to play Whitney like a soybean burger bitch because she didn't answer her phone calls. Girl, bye. Thank you, Joachima, for the super chat. Hi, Bondi. My ex is doing 10 years Fed time for elderly fraud and financial exploitation. He was a stockbroker, got sanctioned by the SEC more than once. Finally, the DOJ got a hold of his ass. Once a thief, always. Tomorrow is my 46th birthday. Girl, we glad that the federale hood took him away from you. Happy early birthday, my love. Happy early birthday. I appreciate you. Okay, listen, y'all better give us study. Y'all better give us the info. Okay. They're acting so Karen, like they really are in danger. I know, right? Y'all ain't no fucking danger. If y'all was in danger, the danger would have happened when the federale hood showed up on the bus. And Whitney, you wasn't acting scared then, but you want that information out of Lisa. So y'all gonna try to white woman the information out of Lisa. And Lisa knows exactly what she's doing. She's trying to act as if she doesn't want to give y'all the tea. If there is real tea at all, she gonna give it to him next episode after she finish faking a funk, like she doesn't want to embarrass Jen further. Girl, Jen is not your friend. You don't like Jen and you do want to embarrass her. So go ahead and spill the tea. Don't act like you're her friend now. Girl, they are doing a lot. Oh, I thought she said it was her birthday. So tomorrow is my 46th birthday. Yeah, no, she said it's my 46th birthday. Okay. I'm just saying, Bondi, that bathtub scene was so extra. Get out the tub. That's how you know Meredith was like, I got that bitch. I got that bitch. I got that bitch. You ain't gonna mess with my kids. You ain't gonna mess with my kid. I got that bitch. I got that hoe. You ain't gonna mess with my kid. Okay, that's what Meredith would do if she was a black lady and could make up a song on the spot. That's what she would have done. And Mary acting like she is in fear as if the Fed's not watching her coat. I mean, church. Girl, right? Right? Like, girl, people are scared of you too. Like you are stealing money. When they were talking about it, and she was like, shut that front door. I was like, Mary, open it back up because the feds are going to come in after they finish with Jen so they can get your ass for what you're doing to your congregation. Let's not forget about your audio of you going off and screaming and hollering at your church people for not giving you all of their ends and money and sending you birthday cards and all of that shit. Girl, there's so much going on. Okay, leader of a cult. All right, leader of a cult. These two with their fugazi white woman tactics. Okay, Whitney with her, I'm pretending to be ditzy, but really I'll stab you and smile. And Jen, okay, Jen with her, I just want to fit in, but I'm also really a scandalous, mean ass bitch, but you don't know yet because I'm trying to play it cool. Like, I'm sorry, but scandalous because of what that little niece said online. Scandalous, mean ass bitch. Don't none of these hoes care about nobody but themselves and their image, okay? Except for Heather. Honestly, Heather and Whitney are really like genuine as far as I'm concerned, to be honest. Like, I really do like the both of them because I feel like they aren't fucked up people. Like, they don't go out of their way to hurt other people. I feel like between Jen, Mary, Lisa, and Jenny, this is a show of psychos. Okay? This is a show of psychos. And Meredith is on some slick shit with hers. Okay? But we all know all of this is cult-ish. That's why everybody's like, that's why it's such good TV because everybody's crazy. So let's go ahead and move on, y'all. Y'all know what it's time for. It's time for us to move on to Real Housewives of Potomac. Before I do that, I know what y'all need to do. But y'all need to. Somebody gonna be my victim. Do it for ya. Shake for ya. Twerk for ya. Okay, all right, I'm done. Sometimes you have to be in the moment of the beat, okay? Be in the moment of the beat. Stretch his blocking fingers for Real Housewives of Potomac. We're ready, and we're ready because we about to get into it. Cause we ready, we about to get into it. Okay, so Real Housewives of Potomac reunion part 2. Let's go. So Mia and Candace are going back and forth, right? And Mia tells Candace to watch her back. Watch your back. I said, for what? What she need to watch her back for? Mia, what you gonna do? Are you threatening her? Are you threatening her? Candace, I'm gonna need for you to pull a Karen. I'm gonna need for you to get on your phone right now and start drafting your message. Okay, go to your notes first so you can have Chris look over it later, but start drafting your voice notes. Bravo, executives. I feel threatened. Mia told me to watch my back. I'm so scared. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to feel. I don't know if I'm safe. Like I would milk it. The way everybody is trying to make it seem as if Candace is somehow so much worse than everybody else, I would absolutely milk every time they hurt me. But see, the thing about like Black women, and I'm talking about real Black women, you know, and y'all may not want to, you know, I know y'all, a lot of y'all think I am light skinned. Okay. But in around my neck of the woods, I am not the same color as Mia, Ashley, Giselle, Karen, or Robin. Okay. So for me, I am more inclined to feel on the Black lady side for real, the brown Black lady side. Okay. I am more inclined because I need for y'all to understand me when I say this. Okay. I am more inclined to be on Candace's side because I am noticing that y'all have a double standard going on here. Okay. And I did not like that double standard when it was going on last season, on season 5 with Monique and Candace, because I feel like whenever Giselle and Robin and Ashley decide they want to take up, okay, take up, shout out to Nene, when they want to take up with their tight curls, when they want to take up, okay, a cause, they decide they want to then make things unfair as far as I'm concerned. So they did that last season when they blamed Monique for the fight with Candace, made it all Monique's fault. We come to this season. Candace hasn't even done anything but said your mama and threw some lettuce at Mia. And I want to refer you guys to Mia putting her hands in Candace's face and doing all this antagonizing, to continuing to start fights. Okay, continuing to start drama with Candace over and over again when they were on that vacation, to me, was a prime example of Mia trying to have a moment for the sake of Real Housewives of Potomac and using Candace to do it. I have said that from the very beginning. That is how I feel, okay? So when we come to this season, and I see you guys, first of all, we're going to get to Ashley. But when I see you guys doing this same shit to Candace, I view it as colorism at this point. I absolutely view it as colorism. And it's not because Monique is so brown skinned, or even for that fact that Candace is so dark. That's not, no. The thing is that if you are light complected, Mia, Ashley, Karen, Robin, Giselle, that means that everything you do is considered okay. No matter how fucked up you are, no matter how much you get in somebody's face, no matter how much you throw your hands around, no matter how much you tell somebody their vagina is floppy, call them a drug addict, call them an alcoholic, say they was in Sing Sing, say don't nobody love them. Like, no matter how fucked up all of the ladies are when they talk to one another and they're in beefage, okay? When they're in beefage, everybody goes for the jugular. But for some reason, on this reunion show, we have decided to say that Candace is so much worse than everybody else. I need for y'all to understand how antagonistic that is. For Candace to have to sit on the stage and listen to everybody who has done all of the same things that they're accusing her of. They've all done these things, but they are sitting there trying to convince her, you don't think you are a little bit worse? You don't think you're a little bit worse than us? And she keeps coming back with, you got in her face. You said this, you said that, but you don't think that you're just a little bit worse than us? Why is she considered a little bit worse than you? Why is she considered a little bit worse than you? Because her reads are more effective. Do you know why her reads are more effective? Because as brown-skinned girls, you get made fun of. As brown-skinned girls, you get talked to crazy. As brown-skinned girls, you are always having to be on the defense. So you know how to read. You know how to talk about people and hit that jugular and hurt their motherfucking feelings. To me, if y'all are going to sit up here in my comments saying that Candace needs her ass whipped this season, so does Giselle, so does Mia, so does Robin, so does Ashley. If Candace deserves to be beat up, then so does almost everybody else on this cast. And that is what I'm going to need for y'all to realize, because I'm tired at this point. Y'all are going to stop acting like Candace deserves different treatment. And then when we say that's colorism, everybody's like, no. But then why do you feel like Candace deserves to be treated so much worse than everybody else for doing the same shit that everybody else is doing? Talk to me. Talk to me. Tell me. Tell me. Make it make sense for me. Because it doesn't. It doesn't make sense. And Mia antagonized the fuck out of Candace this season for the sole purpose of making a splash, for the sole purpose of being seen. And y'all will never, ever, ever, ever sit on this platform. Y'all won't sit on any platform. You won't talk to me on Twitter. You won't talk to me on Instagram. And you damn sure not going to talk to me on YouTube and tell me I'm wrong about that, because I don't believe it. And if you are here to change my mind about what I am seeing, then I'm going to need for you to do two things. First of all, go find somebody to validate your bullshit, because it ain't me. Second of all, go make your own fucking channel and talk that shit to people who you think will agree with your bullshit, because I'm not going to do this with y'all. I'm not going to do this with y'all. They literally sat on that stage and continue to move the goalposts for what's considered fucked up to make Candace out to be the worst of everybody else. No, I'm not doing that. Go to hell. All right. Okay. Now let's get back into the notes of it all. Mia says that her mother wanted to tell her story. Candace says your mama seemed uncomfortable telling her story. Okay. Mia says that her ass kicking is overdue. And Candace says, are you going to whip my ass, Mia? Are you going to whip my ass? Okay. And I don't like this, y'all. And I love the fact that at some point somebody brought up that at Giselle's child construction party that she had in her fucking driveway, that Mia touched Wendy's shoulder, and Wendy said, "Don't touch me." And then she touched Wendy again. So if Wendy would have turned around and punched Mia in her fucking face, that would have been okay. That should be okay. If we're going by the rules that Candace deserves to get her ass whipped for saying your mama to Mia, then Mia needs to get her ass whipped for touching Wendy when Wendy asked her not to. I'm sorry. We're not going to do double standards. Not on my channel, we're not. Not today. Thank you, Devin. Wendy got Ashley to say it out her mouth. She contradicted herself in a heartbeat when Wendy questioned her one-on-one, and I loved it. We're going to get to it. I loved every moment of Wendy turning into a CNN newscaster on you hoes, and you not knowing how to handle it, so you're trying to make it seem like when she gets this way, that's a problem. No, her CNN read voice is amazing, impeccable, and she should continue to read in newscaster voice. Sheree Banks, thank you for the super chat. Colorism is definitely an issue, but also people just don't want to be honest with themselves about why they don't like Candace. That's another thing. That's another thing. Be honest and say you mad that Candace didn't have to struggle for her blackness like y'all think all black people should have to do. Be honest. Anyway, y'all, so moving back into the notes. After Mia finished telling Candace that her ass whipping was overdue, and I finished drawing my conclusion that if Candace deserves to get her ass whipped this season, then Mia deserves to get her ass whipped overtime. So Karen asked Candace, if talking to people like this, are you talking to people like this on the street? I want to know, because you told me to burn in eternal hell. You told me to burn in eternal hell. I said, Karen, if you are not going to release the text message that Candace sent to you, I don't want to talk about this, because this happened last season where you decided that you wanted to, be honestly, I was not. Let me be clear. Karen decided that she did not want to take sides between Monique and Candace because she felt like Candace was as much at fault in the fight as Monique was. Everybody wanted Karen to do what they wanted her to do, which is why we were defending Karen for her right. Well, I was for her right to say, no, I'm going to stay in the middle, and you can't force me to see your side just because you have a temper tantrum, because that's what Candace was doing. And all of the women were backing her up in doing that because they wanted to get Monique out, and they also wanted Karen to move the way they wanted her to move. So this season, Karen, you decided to move the way they wanted you to move. You wrote that letter last season to Bravo saying that you were scared because of the way Candace texted you. I said I wanted to see the text message, and you never released the text message. Nobody ever told us what Candace said that was so bad for Karen to go and tell on her. So now we're at this point, and y'all are bringing this shit up again, and now I'm looking at Karen like, Karen, I don't want to hear about this from you. Karen, go to hell. Karen, I do not want to hear about this from you, because if all she told you was go to hell, you are fucked up for going and trying to get her fired. If that's all she told you, you are fucked up for that. I'm sorry. We're not going to do this. I ignored it last season because I needed to see it. I want to see it. But see, now that we're bringing it back up and Karen has decided to act as if Candace is so much worse than everybody else, including herself, who has said some of the most fucked up things this season. I can't go with you, Karen. Karen, your reads don't land. And that's why everybody laughs about it. It's not because it's not mean. It's not because it's not below the belt. It's not because it's not fucked up. It's because you confused Sing Sing with a mental hospital. Sing Sing was an actual prison. We were talking about a mental hospital that Giselle went to. You were trying to make fun of Giselle for having a mental breakdown after her cheating ass husband had children on her and they went through a divorce, all for you to come to this season and get emotional about why you feel like Giselle shouldn't have went back to him because he doesn't deserve you. Girl, get the fuck out of here, Karen. There's the door. Get away from me with this. Karen, you know you my girl, but I am not about to sit up here and not call you out on this bullshit. You can burn in hell, Karen. People can tell you to go to hell, girl. You gonna be all right. You may or may not burn in hell. That's of no consequence. But stop acting like somebody telling you to go to hell is some basement level, gut punching thing. Like, please stop. I tell y'all to go to hell all the time. I don't really mean go to hell. That just means get out of my face with this. It's another colorful way to say get the fuck away from me with this. That's all. It's a colorful way to say get the hell out of my face. Go to hell. Okay? Karen says that she and Giselle don't cut to the bone like Candace does. My notes say lies. They do it with a twist of humor. I said, not the bro code from Hampton University with an STD and a hot puss. Girl, what? Karen, it's only funny because it doesn't land, because as an old woman, you're not as sharp. That's the only reason. That's the only reason it's funny. It's not funny because it's not hurtful. It's funny because you're not quick enough for the read to land the way you intend for it to land. So you don't mean for it to be funny. You just don't put that much effort into your reads. And Candace, and when we say that Candace is better at the reading, this is what we're talking about. They aren't lame. They aren't late. They aren't only in the confessional. They're right in the moment, gut punch ass moments. And I empathize with Candace as a person that often knows that I have thought of the worst thing to say in my mind. And then when a level lower and y'all are still about to act like I'm the one that's fucked up when I'm the one that's reacting. I understand that about Candace. I do. And that's why I feel like it's not about what she says. It's about the way she allows the argument to get her heightened and get her to a place where she's putting hands in face and throwing shit and starting to move in a physical manner and she can't fight. That's my only issue with her. When you're going to talk this shit, you're going to get in people's face, you're going to do all of this shit, please be able to fight and don't be a victim later. That was my only issue last season. Don't cry, play victim, call the police, and act like a Karen after you got into an argument with somebody. That was my only issue with Candace. She is not doing that this season. That is not what's happening this season. Mia in her size 12 feet. Mia got online and decided to try to pretend to be like a hurt woman behind them talking about her feet. Bitch, your feet big, your skin is bad. So is mine right now. What's your point? Oh, they're body shaming me. Oh, my body feels shame. Girl, fuck you and your body. Andy asked Candace why the body shaming. Candace says that Ashley said that Mia's vagina was beat to a pulp. And Wendy was subject to egregious body shaming. And Ashley said previously that Sharice's titties were saggy. So why are we acting like I'm the only one that body shames, Andy? Next question. Wendy says everyone hits below the belt. Candace just sticks the landing. And Candace asks if she should not stick her landing to spare their feelings. And Karen says, well, maybe people won't want to deal with you. And I say, what you mean people won't want to deal with her? Does that mean that you're going to play a part in them icing her out, Karen? Now listen, Karen, the only reason that I'm mad with you in this moment is because I feel like you're punking out. You're going along with the bullshit. You're going along with the shit that they did to you last season that they're now doing to Ken, because they tried to do the same shit to you, ice you out. And so now you're joining up with the clique to do it against Candace. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, I'm not exactly mad at Karen for doing it to Candace, because I remember last season the way Candace cried and pitched a fit and acted a fucking fool because Karen refused to just completely be on her side with the Monique situation. So in this season, if Karen wants to say fuck Candace, I can't exactly be mad at her about that. But the thing that annoys me is that Karen, you actively tried to get to a better place with Candace. You tried to get back to a friendship with Candace. You extended yourself to Candace. And now you're showing up at the fucking reunion show and turning your back on Candace and playing a part in this bullshit colorism, Candace is worse than everybody else, storyline, trope, bullshit, whatever you want to call it, you're going along with that. You're going along with that. And that is why I am upset with Karen, because I would like for Karen to be like, you know what, I am not exactly cool with Candace. You know what I'm saying? So many things have gone on between Candace and I, but we're not going to sit up here and act like everybody doesn't say mean things. Everybody says below about comments. Everybody says messed up things to one another. And Robin, you have gotten physical before. And Giselle, you did walk her into a situation knowing that she would probably get physical, and you were her backup. You did not put space in between them. You did not push Ashley back the way you did Monique last season. No, you did not. You just stood there and had your friend's back as she accosted Ashley in her restaurant. Is that not what you did? Okay, then that goes along the same lines as what Candace has been doing. I would have wanted Karen to show up in that way. That's what I wanted Karen to do. I wanted Karen to say, yeah, okay, I don't fuck with Candace like that, and Candace can do a lot, but we're not about to act like everybody doesn't say fucked up things. That's what I wanted from Karen. But it is obvious that Karen has decided to join the clique. So when everybody was on Twitter saying that Karen was included in on the group of women that were trying to make Potomac the light-skinned Black women Bravo show, I was like, no, man, no. And now I'm like, okay, Karen. Okay, Karen. You disappointing me, bitch. You are disappointing the dog shit out of me, Karen. But if that's what you want to do, that's okay. But just like Candace said at the beginning of this season, we're cool, but we're clear. We're cool, Karen, but we're clear. And we understand where we are right now. Okay. So Wendy says, like I said, hold on, wait, no. I don't want to go back. Karen says that no one is going to deal with Candace's abuse. Y'all deal with Giselle's abuse. What's the difference? Tell me. I want to know. Giselle tries to use herself as a comparison. And Candace says, you are not a good comparison because you don't read on the spot. You don't read in the moment. You wait until you get into confessionals to read, and your reads are just as fucked up. Meaning you're not smart enough to read the way I do. So please don't act as if you have the capability. Giselle, even if you wanted to read to Candace's capability, you don't have the bandwidth. Because like we've been saying this entire time, as a pretty woman, you haven't had to do anything in your life hard. You have people like Robin defending you your entire life. So you've never had to learn how to read. You've never had to learn how to defend yourself because you've always been wielding power over people because of your light-eyed, light-skinned privilege that you know you have, that you appreciate about yourself and all of the women you seem to surround yourself with. Girl, that's why you can't read. Your life was different. The fuck out of here with that shit. Giselle, okay. And this is when Candace brings up, you walked your friend Robin into your friend Ashley's restaurant to get in her face. Robin says Giselle doesn't have anything to do with that, and that's old. I'm like, well, Candace throwing a butter knife is old, and she did have something to do with that because she was standing right behind you as you were doing it, Robin. And even if we're not talking about Giselle, we can bring our attention to you, Robin, who have gotten in people's faces in a very aggressive way multiple times on this show, but nobody is trying to string together aggressive and put it on your chest like they're trying to do it to Candace. But we should be. We should be thinking about your linebacker shoulders and the way you like to push them on people when you get upset. And also the way, because you are not smart enough to get with Wendy on an intellectual level, and you know you can't chest up to her physically. You know you can't do that at this point. So you always, why do you even, oh my God, and that doesn't even, you're always trying to like break down what somebody says, like it's stupid or it doesn't make sense or it's irrelevant. She's always trying to break down what somebody has to say in order to make it seem as if it isn't valid, because Robin is full of shit. Robin is full of shit. And she is very aggressive. She has been aggressive on more than one occasion. And I have not seen anybody point her out to be the strong-shouldered, dangerous, stud-like lesbian that she is. Octavia, thank you so much for the super chat. The colorism is based on if a darker girl has a bigger access to money than them. Monique with her husband and Candace with her mom. It's based on a lot of things, but that's a part of it. It absolutely is. To me, Giselle's anger with Monique was always, how dare you be living better than me? JW, thank you for the super chat. Ashley, spot on. Candy lacks emotional intelligence. They know she's immature and gonna overreact with her sharp tongue. Her sharp tongue. I think she's perfect for Real Housewives of Potomac. Candace is perfect for Real Housewives of Potomac. Candace is what we wanted Kenya to be, if you ask me. We wanted somebody that was gonna come in and be quick witted and get with people and talk that shit. Because first of all, Giselle is not Nene, but she sees herself as the Nene on the show. Candace has brought in is like a Kenya to go kind of go against, but what she ended up doing was kind of being more in line with Giselle, because Giselle has created a very sorority like environment on the show versus Atlanta, where all the girls can get into it without somebody else always defending them. I don't know if y'all have noticed it, but Candy usually is in charge of the girls, but somehow everybody is able to get into it and have their own beefs separate from everybody else. I don't ever really feel like the girls on Atlanta gang up on anybody unless that person is really fucked up. Like when everybody got Nene together that one season and she didn't really want to be there and it was obvious and they was tired of her with the bullshit. Or when Kim Zolciak was on the reunion with the bullshit and everybody kind of went through the line telling her how they couldn't deal with her and what she had done and all of that, and she couldn't take it. Okay, so honestly, I really do feel like y'all don't allow for Candace to become a Kenya, and what I mean by that is Kenya has backing. Kenya is, y'all are not gonna do what y'all are doing to Candace to Kenya. Y'all are not gonna isolate her. We've tried, because Kenya is terrible to people sometimes, but Kenya is always gonna have her backing. Kenya is always going to have her support. And therefore, she is never going to be isolated on the show the way they are trying to isolate Candace. I don't know if y'all have noticed it. Nobody isolates people like that on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And they may be a little bit more boring right now, but I think that's why we like them as a whole cast more than we like the Potomac girls as a cast, meaning we have love-hate relationships with them. I just don't, I have not liked Gisela Robin or Ashley in seasons. Since probably season 1, I have not liked Giselle, Robin, or Ashley since season 1 or 2. I can go back and forth with Wendy. I can go back and forth with Karen until now. I can go back and forth with Candace. Mia's too young for me to, even pay attention to her right now. But I have consistently disliked them because I find that they are extremely unfair. And the way they are unfair is the way they decide to ice people out and not film with them if they get upset. Nobody on Atlanta does that. Shayna Martin, thank you for the super chat. Robin has never been held accountable for her BS, ever. I am over her. I'm over her too. And a part of her not being held accountable is nobody saying anything about the fact that she's fucking boring and brings nothing to the show. Anyway, except for being a minion. She's a minion. The only time they iced somebody out was when Portia and Phaedra had their situation, and Portia wasn't iced out. Phaedra was, and that was because Phaedra was actually trying to set up some shit that was illegal, and Candy dropped her nuts at Bravo, and everybody knew that Candy was more profitable. So it made sense for them to back her because she was profitable. That's like the only time. But every other time, everybody is able to have their beef and have their fans defend them, and it seems more balanced. They don't discriminate. It seems way more balanced on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like, if we don't like Kenya, it never feels like somebody is like trying to ice Kenya out. We're just mad at Kenya for the moment. And then we move on eventually to being mad at the next person, or until Kenya does something else to piss us off, or until she does something to make us like her again. And we're like, oh, we weren't as mad at Kenya this episode. You know what I'm saying? But the way they do things on Real Housewives of Potomac is so different to me. They can't. They tried, but they didn't really ice her out. That fight and all that was that when it happened. The fight happened season 10. And that's a little different too. Like that was reprimanding from Bravo for you getting into a fight. You know what I'm saying? Versus everybody deciding they were never going to tape with you. And plus, Portia actually did something that was legally fucked up that people had to kind of create some separation because you out here saying crazy shit. Thank you, JW, for the super chat. I want Robin and Giselle to fall out next season. We've been wanting them to fall out for the past couple of seasons. And I think that it probably happened and they never showed it and then they made up. Okay, colorism, exactly, but that's the point I'm making, y'all. The reason why Real Housewives of Atlanta is not as toxic as Real Housewives of Potomac is because there is no colorism. That's the reason why. That's the reason why, even though Kenya and Candace have been likened to each other often as the villain on the show, that's not happening because the real villains are doing the colorism thing. And to Black people, that is triggering. So you can't have Black women watching a show and you're trying to have your lead person not be the villain, but she is the villain because of the colorism that y'all are all ignoring. Kenya is actually able to be a villain because there's no colorism going on. You know what I'm saying? Like if there was no colorism, then Candace would be a villain. But she's really not because y'all are trying to basically bully and isolate her for doing exactly the same thing that all the other women do, but just a little bit better. Thank you, Maya, for the super chat. Robin and Giselle need a real friends argument so we can really see the individuality. Candace needs to fight one of them and win for them to hop off. Let me tell you something, thank you for the super chat, but I thought about this and I was like, the situation with Robin and Giselle is annoying because they have an agreement amongst themselves that shows that they're really friends. So when Giselle did not privately talk to Wendy about what happened with Eddie and all of that, that's how you know it was really for the show and to embarrass Wendy and to make Wendy's personal life, whether it be fake or real, a storyline, regardless of your friendship with her. Meaning you were like, fuck Wendy's feelings. We're going to bring this shitty story to the show so that we can make sure it's entertaining. You would never have done that to Robin. You would never, or Robin wouldn't have done that to Giselle because y'all see each other as real friends. So when Giselle tries to sit on stage and act as if she really cared about Wendy, it's bullshit. It's a lie because when she really cares about somebody, she does talk to you privately. We won't even see it on camera. Thank you, Paige, for the super chat. There is implicit bias, colorism, and they hold her to a different standard. They all act ugly equally. True. Candace rarely takes accountability or apologizes. Candace has apologized, but I'm going to tell you why Candace doesn't apologize. Because she's not going to mean it. Why am I apologizing if I don't mean it? I don't want Candace to apologize if she doesn't mean it. And who is she supposed to apologize to? Who is she supposed to apologize to? Who is deserving of an apology from Candace? I don't think Mia is deserving of an apology from Candace. I don't. Your mama. Now what else is going on? Jessica Gilbert, thank you for the super chat. Completely agree about the difference between Potomac and Atlanta. I go back and forth with the women of Real Housewives of Atlanta, but they are still enjoyable. Giselle, Robin, and Ashley irk my nerves severely. And that's because we've all, in real life as Black women, you have in some way been subject to colorism, racism, or in some way being made to feel gaslit, or like even at work, y'all, in corporate America as a Black woman, I can't tell you how many times that people have antagonized me, people have tried to start arguments with me, or people have tried to find something deeply negative in something I've said so that they can cry and play victim so that they can control me or get me to do something they want me to do. So I definitely understand what's happening with Candace because a lot of us have experienced that. Okay. And like I said, Candace has apologized before, but a lot of times when she apologizes, it's not sincere because she's only apologizing to appease you. So I don't want her to apologize. I don't want her to apologize to any of them unless she really, really means it. Okay. I never said that Candace needed to apologize to Monique either. Y'all never heard me say that. I never said that. Never said that Candace needed to apologize to Monique. Not even last season. I said that she just needed to be less bitch made about her actions. That was my only thing. Back it up, ma'am. That's all. And that's because that's the way I was raised. I was raised in a community that if you don't want to fight, if you don't want that type of energy, you don't get in people's faces. You don't act like you're about that energy if you don't really want that energy. Okay? That's what my life taught me. Okay, so that's why I felt the way I felt last season. That's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, no. Everybody's vile. Karen is vile. Giselle is vile. Robin is vile. Ashley is vile. Mia is vile. If Candace is, so is everybody else. And that is what I need y'all to understand. All of this other shit that y'all are talking about is irrelevant at this point, in this moment. So moving on from there, because, you know, it's a lot. Robin feels like Candace drags on. Like when she gets into it with people, it drags on. She goes too far. Andy says that they're trying to give her big sister advice. She says, I hear them. I'm fine. You know, and it's because she knows it's bullshit. She knows it's bullshit. It's not big sister advice. It's shut up and take our abuse without fighting us back. To me, that's what everybody's telling Candace. Shut up and take us saying whatever we want to say about you. Shut up and take us talking about your mom. Shut up and take us talking about your husband. Shut up and take us saying little slick shit to you and don't say anything back to us. To me, that's what I think everybody wants Candace to do. Y'all want Candace to just shut up and take it. And y'all often do this to Black women. Y'all want us to just shut up and take it. And there are a lot of us that are like, no, fuck you. I'm not going to shut up and take it. And that's where Candace is. And I can't be upset with her for that. Andy says that Mia has become a mess online. And Mia, in an attempt to act as if she's so different from Candace, admits that she was a disaster on Twitter and she's going to do better. Now, before she was blaming her social media manager. And Candace is like, so did your social media manager block me or did you? And she was like, oh, you're blocked, girl. You know you blocked that girl. A scholar then brings out all of these printed out copies of all of the tweets that Mia has been sending her. And now Mia is going to sit up there and act as if she's too busy to even, you know, focus on all of these screenshots and everything. Girl, nobody cares about, girl, yeah, you care. That's why you was doing all of that with your thirsty for attention ass, okay? They asked about the classism. I love the way the viewers are always flipping shit. And I sometimes wonder if these are white viewers. Anyway, thank you so much, Arini Young. Thank you for the super chat. Giselle turned on Candace the moment she went to Karen to tell Monique about the whole trainer story coming to the show. Giselle was trying to catch Monique off guard. That's a good point. That's a really good point. Asada, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Bondi, did you hear Stevie J called off his divorce with Faye Evans? No, I did not. I'm going to do a BondyBlue show this evening, probably like around maybe 6. Somebody's supposed to be coming here around 4. So after that, I'll come back on for a BondyBlue show and we'll talk about some things, including the Danny Lay situation and the baby. Y'all know I got an opinion on that. Thank you, Octavia, for the super chat. Even Candy tried to go to Ashley with some compassion. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. We're going to get on Ashley. Let's continue on, okay? The classism. First of all, y'all, we're not about to sit up here and act like people are actually attempting to make Mia feel bad about being a stripper, prostitute, or whatever. Mia came on this show telling everybody how much money she made. Mia came on this show talking about how much of a boss she was. Mia is the one that came on here, new money, throwing around her classism to make people feel bad. You're low budget. She literally called Candace low budget, and y'all are telling us that y'all perceived a scholar in Candace as classist because they pointed out that the stripper who was plucked from obscurity now has businesses, wants to call somebody broke. The fuck? I need for y'all to start at the beginning and not at the middle. Start at the beginning and not the middle. Thank you, Felicia, for the super chat. I hated that they only brought her out for 5 minutes. She brought it all season, way more than Robin. She should have sat there the whole time. I agree. And she should have been able to make her little slide comments like Robin does as well. And another thing, thank you. Did we need to know that Mia makes $450,000 a year? No, we did not. What about when she called her friend on the phone and called everybody broke bitches in their faces? Like, what was that not classism? Was that not classism? to call somebody a broke bitch? She said it several times. So when we finally turn around and flip Mia's own, that's why we say Mia writes her own reads, meaning you're constantly talking about being a prostitute. You're constantly talking about being a stripper. You're constantly talking about your mom's drug problem. You're constantly talking about how, G used to come to the strip club and pay for your pussy. But when somebody calls you a prostitute, you want to act like you're hurt behind it. Girl, stop. You were a prostitute. What are you hurt for? Why are your feelings hurt that you were being called something you labeled yourself? Make it make sense. Anyway, okay. Andy says that he's seen it before when Andy made excuses for Mia when they were in this. I'm sorry, my dog is in the back going off and she's aggravating the shit out of me. I really wish my husband was here. Mia was classist the entire season. So I don't want to hear about Candace and Askala being classist towards her. I don't want to hear it because she started it. Andy says that he's seen it before with the first-time housewives getting out of hand on social media. I think it's so funny that they're giving Mia a pass for being out of hand on social media, because that's what Andy just did when he said that, oh, she's a first-time housewife. That's why she's online going crazy. Anyway, but you're not going to point out that her being a first-time housewife was the reason why she decided to start a fight with Candace in the first place. We're not going to bring that up. Okay, they go on break and Giselle tells Candace to take some accountability. I said, Giselle, you never take any accountability, not any real accountability. You may apologize. You may say, yeah, I did this, but then you never change your behavior. So what is being held accountable if you're always still going to do the same shit? What is that? What do we call that? I think it's bullshit. Ashley checks on Mia. I just want to check in on you. Girl, shut the fuck up. You said her pussy was beat out. What you checking on her for? Wendy checks on Candace, lets her know that she has her back no matter what. And that's because they see what's going on. All right. We come back to the stage and then we get on Giselle's fiery box and how Karen basically said that Giselle had an STD. And that came from the same blog, All About the Tea, that said that Eddie was cheating on Wendy. So it's like, oh, we're going to laugh at and really not focus on the rumor that Giselle had STD, but Giselle brings up a rumor about my husband from this same blog site as if, it was okay to bring up. And this is when Giselle tries to trip everybody up. Giselle and Robin both want to keep saying, oh, but we never said it was true. Wendy made the point, and this is the point that everybody's been trying to make the whole season. Wendy, you were wrong. 100 people did not see that video. Thousands of people saw that video. Thousands of people saw All About the Tea's video, because at the time, All About the Tea was ranking about 8,000 to 10,000 views per live video. Okay. So no, there were thousands of people in that live, but there are millions of people watching Real Housewives of Potomac. So don't bring a little known fucked up ass story to a larger platform and bring more attention to it under the guise that you care about me. Because if you cared about me, you wouldn't have brought it up. So when Karen says that she doesn't hit below the belt, Karen, you're a fucking lie. You and Giselle are lying because y'all both took low-hanging fruit from a blog site that y'all say is not to be trusted. Y'all took that low-hanging fruit and y'all both brought that shit back to this show, which to me is what much worse than saying that your mama. It's much worse. I'm just saying. Okay. Anyway, y'all, Robin says that Giselle brushed it off when Karen said that she had a hot box. That's also because Karen's reads don't stick, as I said previously. That's another reason why you were able to just let it go, because y'all see her as the quirky old lady that just says crazy shit. Okay. So y'all weren't going to pay attention. Now, if Candace had said Giselle had herpes, then y'all would have ran her through the fucking mud about it. Okay. Like y'all are doing about her saying your mama. And Robin, Robin, I love the way Wendy clocked the fact that you want to draw correlation between the way Wendy responded to y'all saying that she got her body done because her husband was cheating on her to the way Giselle just brushed off the STD story. Like, don't compare those two things, Robin, because you said previously that we shouldn't be policing the way people respond, correct? When y'all were making excuses for Mia and feeling like if Mia wanted to put pause on Candace, then she was entitled to do so. That's what y'all said, right? So when we turn around and Wendy is more upset than Giselle was, don't police her response because you're not policing Mia's response, correct? Okay, then shut the fuck up. This is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. We talk about the hypocrisy and the bullshit of it all. Thank you, Wendy. I am so glad that you were sitting there ready and prompted to bring that back up. Next question. Karen called Giselle a broke down hoe from Hampton. She felt that way because of the Ray comment, which is bullshit. Karen and Giselle showed up to the season with the assignment to fight it out amongst one another in case nothing else was going on the show. But then everybody else showed up with their mess, and Karen and Giselle were able to float back into the background as the staple old bitches on the show that don't really have to get their hands muddy and dirty anymore at this point. So because now Karen realizes that Giselle was not wishing death on Ray, she now realizes that maybe I went too far, because of that. But Raven still felt away. That's bullshit too. Talking about Raven couldn't stand you. Girl, nobody cares. Nobody cares how Raven felt. Nobody cares about how Giselle's kids feel. I'm sorry, but nobody cares about y'all kids and how y'all kids feel about the nasty shit that y'all say to one another. Because at this point, it's fake. Y'all are using your children to act as if somebody should be held more responsible than you when y'all are in verbal combat. Like, oh, what you said hurt my kids. So it's worse than if it just hurt my feelings. Like, get the fuck out of here. So at this point, I don't care about Raven's feelings. I don't care about Giselle's kids' feelings as it pertains to the mess that's going on the show. Because y'all are all saying mean ass shit that somebody's kid could be hurt by. As Wendy said, I'm going to need for y'all to bring it back and apologize to my kids after y'all tried to make their dad seem to, be some fuck shit ass womanizer that he is not. Okay? And Giselle says, hold on. I'm sorry, y'all, because I hate when I get out of the order of my notes. Okay. Giselle spreads rumors about Eddie, but wanted an apology from Karen about Wendy. Y'all know, I'm sorry, my notes are all mixed up right there for some reason, but y'all know what I'm saying. Basically, you wanted an apology from Karen for doing the same thing that you did to Wendy, and yet you don't see how you were wrong. And you have never really apologized to Wendy for what you did. That's what I think is so funny. Everybody's looking for Candace to apologize for saying your mama, but Giselle doesn't have to apologize to Wendy for what she did, for not coming to her directly about what she heard might have been going on with her husband. Giselle says that Wendy looked at her daughter cockeyed crazy. And then they show us the video of when her daughter walks past Wendy and Wendy just kind of has like a squint on her face. Who knows what Wendy was really thinking in the moment, but it did seem like bullshit to me. So Wendy says, fine, I'll do what you can't do. I'll apologize. Tell your daughters I'm so sorry. I am sorry. Now, you be ready to apologize to my sons. And Giselle goes on to say that she actually defended their father. See, that's the bullshit. If anybody is not holding accountability, it's Giselle. Then we get into Karen's Sing Sing comment, and Robin points out that she called Giselle a drug addict. And I'm like, so that's not deeper than Candace saying your mama? What? Karen, like, girl, Karen was just as fucked up this season by the mouth, if not more. To me, way more, because you were going in on Giselle. You were going in on her. You said she was a drug addict. Y'all both were calling each other alcoholics. Like, y'all have hit below the belt several times. That first dinner, y'all were definitely hitting below the belt without Candace even having to be in the room. Andy asked that they say something nice about one another. And Giselle says, you know what? You brought a gift to my house when you came to my construction party in the driveway, and you got up and hugged my daughters, and then they pretend to get emotional, and then, Mia pretends to get emotional. I said, Mia, I am so tired of you trying to be a part of everybody's moment so you can feel like you fit in. You want to fit in and be special so bad, and it's really sad. You're a grown ass woman. Let me explain something to y'all. When you're a real boss and you have real confidence in yourself as a woman, you do not act outside of yourself. You do not jump to take people's backs, and you do not jump to have the emotions of other people so that you can fit in with them. You don't do that. And that's what Mia does constantly. That's how you know that Mia is putting on a front. Mia is posturing to make herself seem better than she really believes that she is. Because if you really believed all of this hype about yourself, you wouldn't be online running your mouth the way you do. You would not be trying to jump on bandwagons, and you would not be trying to pretend as if you're emotional behind Giselle and Karen's bullshit. Them getting up to hug each other. Oh my God, I really love you. All fake, all fugazi, all bullshit. I am not moved. Get the fuck out of my face with this. Okay. Karen and Giselle in this fake makeup actually made me mad because I was like, so Giselle, that's all she needed to do was jump up and hug your daughter for you to forgive everything. That's how you know y'all relationship is real, because she got up to hug your daughter. Girl, get the fuck out of my face with this. Get out of my face with this. So we get into the whole Ashley is a mom. She went through postpartum. Is Michael, getting into the porn industry? She says, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Ashley is back to her more sexual side, and she's back to possible threesomes. I'm like, Ashley, you want us to care so bad, and we really don't. At the end of the day, you're another one that's pretending to be happy in a marriage with a man that is seemingly not that attracted to you, and is only attracted to you when your body is hard like a man's. Thank you, JW, for the super chat. It was Dr. Wendy last night. Called them out on all the BS. Oh, yes, she was. And I appreciated her for every single ounce of it. Every single ounce of it. Okay. So why does Candace relish being nasty to Ashley? Candace says that she's nasty to me. Giselle and Robin say that Candace is very good at hitting home. I say, well, that's what we've been saying this entire time. Is it the same when Michael does it? Meaning Michael talks about Ashley's body kind of in a negative way. Do you see that the same way as you see it when Candace says it? Well, of course not. Nobody's ever going to see an argument with their man the way they see an argument with a woman that they don't like. And that's just the realness of the situation. She's never going to look at what Michael says about her body in the same way that she does about what Candace says about her body. And she shouldn't. Candace calling her wide body was not even a real read, because she wasn't really wide bodied. It was just being said to hurt Ashley's feelings and to play on Ashley's insecurities about just having a baby. That's all that was. She's not really wide bodied. Michael saying that Ashley is, working out and getting better means that he's not attracted to her. That's a deeper hit. So even though she's not going to perceive it the same, the feeling is worse. Michael not wanting to fuck his wife is worse than Candace saying that you're wide-bodied because y'all are in an argument. Like, it's not the same. I don't know why y'all are trying to compare the two, but it also shows that Ashley is willing to take degradation in her relationship. But then when it comes to Candace, wants to act all high and mighty, like Michael isn't making you feel like shit in your relationship, when in actuality, he is. Okay, so Candace is so jealous of Ashley becoming a mom before her. Candace says, yes, I'm so jealous. Y'all, now I was wondering what it was, because I have said to y'all many times I felt like Ashley and Candace have a little jealousy on both ends. I feel like all of the women, but specifically Ashley and Mia, are jealous of Candace because Candace grew up with a silver spoon in her mouth thanks to Dot and her father, who was also a doctor. Everybody forgets that both Candace's parents have money. That's why Candace is doing so well. Okay. They were smart with investments. They were really good with money, which is why Candace was able to start businesses and have successful businesses even before coming on Real Housewives of Potomac. So Candace has never really been poor. Candace has never really solely relied on her mother. Her mother actually taught her to be a businesswoman. Okay. Which is why Candace knew that coming on Real Housewives of Potomac would be even better for what she was already doing. Candace already had her hairline when she came on to Real Housewives of Potomac. It did nothing but raise her business to the next level. Okay. So Ashley and Mia are all jealous of Candace for not having to lie under a nasty old man so that she can get her wealth. First of all, even if they don't want to admit it deep down, y'all are mad at the fact that brown skinned Candace is able to have a beautiful, flourishing life without having to lay under a nasty old white man for it or a nasty old black man for it, whichever. Okay. Y'all can say what y'all want to. Y'all are jealous of that. Candace. Candace is jealous of Ashley, and I don't even really think it's jealousy. I think that Candace does not like the fact that women like Ashley get the world handed to them, get all the excuses made for them just because they're light complected and or mixed. Because of their proximity to whiteness, be it the dick they have babies with or the dick they came out of, because of their proximity to whiteness, they're able to be mediocre, talentless, big forehead, you know, medium beautiful women. Not saying that Ashley isn't beautiful, but what I am saying is they're able to be subpar and get patted on the back and congratulated and get all of the allowances in the world. That is what Candace is mad about. Candace is mad that Ashley was ever able to be considered on the same playing field with her when Ashley is mediocre, white adjacent. That's what Candace is upset about. Also, Candace has mommy issues and doesn't like people playing with her and, has the anger issues because of that. But that's really what Candace's issue is. I don't like the fact that, and probably because they did pageants together, Candace was able to actually see Ashley wielding the proximity to whiteness privilege that she has. And that is probably why she doesn't like her. And then you add that on top of the fact that her husband is allowed to come on the show and sexually harass people and do all kinds of things that Black people would not be able to get away with. And so Candace is a lot of the times disgusted and annoyed with that. That is where it comes from. Okay. Ashley says that once Candace has a child, she'll see where Ashley is coming from and then she'll be apologizing. And Candace says, no, I will not. And I said, Candace, you should never apologize to Ashley because Ashley has continued to use being a mother, having children as a way to escape accountability for being the nasty little wench that she's always been. Candace says, okay, so you want to say, that okay, I'm sorry. Candace says, well, you called my hair dry. Should I cry about that? Because you obviously have the looser curl pattern as a mixed woman. I could turn around and say, hey, that's insensitive for you as a mixed woman with curly hair to call my hair as a 100%, both parents Black, African-American, 4C having, you called my hair dry. That's basically like calling me nappy-headed. Ashley knows what she was doing. Ashley was finding a prettier way to call Candace nappy-headed. Okay. And that's what Candace is saying. I could have freaked out, cried, and really, pulled the, oh my God, it's colorism, it's racism flag. But I didn't do that. You called my hair dry. I called your head big. Like I called you football head and called you wide bodied. And this is what I'm talking about when I said Candace is not doing what she did last season. You said something to Candace. Candace said something back. Y'all got into it. Candace kept her cool at the reunion show and just tossed it right back to y'all. Y'all said something, she tossed it right back, which is what we want Candace to do going forward. Don't be so emotional. And when I say don't be so emotional, don't get yourself to a place where things are getting to a physical place. Because if you want to cry, my good girl, cry. Okay. I may not always be moved, but that don't matter. Cry if you want to, because all these white adjacent bitches gonna cry. So you might as well cry too. Okay. So they address the colorism thing. And I just want to say this. Ashley, as a mixed woman married to a white man, nobody wants to hear from you how there is no colorism on this cast. Because how the fuck would you know when on this cast the colorism would be working in your favor? So how the fuck are we going to take your word for it when girl, it's what white people do. That's why it's called privilege, because even though you yourself may not be racist, you are absolutely reaping benefits from the system of racism. So Ashley, you may not see the colorism because it's not happening to you, but you are benefiting from the colorism because you are never fully held accountable in the same way that they're trying to hold Ashley accountable. I mean, trying to hold Candace accountable. And what I mean is everybody couldn't stand Ashley. They never tried to isolate Ashley. They never told Ashley, you keep digging in our business and we're not going to tape with you anymore. They never said that. They became friends with her and made her a part of the clique and decided to set their sights on someone else. So Ashley, nobody wants to hear you talk about the colorism, because how girl, how are you gonna speak on it as the person benefiting from said colorism? How are you gonna speak on it? Girl, stop. And this one I fell in love with Wendy all over again. Wendy said in her CNN voice, how can you not see racism existing on this platform if racism exists in the world? This platform is in the world. So how can you say that? Ashley says what a lot of you people say when y'all want to act like something isn't happening, that is absolutely happening. Y'all say that the viewers are doing it. You feel like the viewers are projecting colorism onto the cast, instead of the cast having colorism, because it is in this world and made up of women who have gone through their lives benefiting from said colorism. So they come to a show and then they have that same shit acting out on this show, and now we're supposed to act like it's not real? Girl, get the fuck out of here with that. Ashley, colorism is happening on the show. That's how you and your husband are able to escape accountability. You're questioned and you're allowed to exist in the space after the questioning. Y'all think if somebody questions you, that means you're being held accountable. No, 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 no. You being questioned is a part of what happens on a reality show when drama happens. We have to talk about it. But see, the isolating and the making Candace feel like she's so much worse than everybody else on the stage, that is the colorism, you guys. That is what it is, okay? And you trying to act as if Candace called you a slave, and that's equal to what's going on with this colorism and everything on the cast. Girl, I was just like, Ashley, first of all, Candace didn't call you a slave. You referred to yourself as a slave after she said that your husband was an overseer. And to be clear, overseer is someone who oversees. He oversees you and your mom and your family because he pays for everything and he decides what happens. Is that not what an overseer is? Ashley, the reason why Candace is not wrong when she talks to you and and says all these things to you is because Candace realizes that the reason why you are with Michael is because you recognize that a white man can give you wealth that a black man cannot. You are with Michael because Michael can provide you a lifestyle that you will never have to live under a bridge with a no shit ass nigga like your mama did. Okay. Now, I think the mama was with a white man actually, but that's not the point. Okay. The point is, I believe that Ashley, like a lot of people, equates poverty to blackness in the back of their mind. Okay. So Ashley and her mom recognized that being with a white rich man puts her at a better position in life. So they sought out a white rich man. So when we draw attention to the fact that you have chosen to relinquish power in a relationship to a rich white man so you can have a better life, ma'am, that mimics a slavery master slave type of relationship. That's what that mimics. I know y'all don't want to be honest and real about that, but Ashley's relationship with Michael mimics a lot of what we see in relationships with white men and in the pretty little, racially ambiguous mixed race women that they pick from obscurity to save. They get to pat themselves on the back and a tax write-off because they picked you up off the street, brought you into the home, gave you money, gave you children, and now you get to have a better life. But you also have to give up autonomy. You have to give up power. You have to allow that man to make you feel like you're the one that needs to be worried about being attractive. Like, are you serious, Ashley? Ashley, you're in a relationship with a man that looks like he's dehydrated from the inside out. Like, Michael is unattractive as fuck. I don't care what y'all are talking about. He may be in good shape, but Michael is not attractive right up in here. Okay. Right up and through here, Michael is not attractive. Okay. There are older white men who are attractive. Michael is not one of them. Okay. So you're not going to really convince us that we're blind and we're looking at it. No, 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 Ashley. No, 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 Ashley. Your relationship absolutely mimics the way I believe a lot of mixed race or like complected women find solace away from racism by going to have babies and marrying and creating families with white people. It's a way to wash down your line and make sure that your children and your family no longer have to live in poverty. Is by melting your life in with a rich white man's life. It's the same thing that the Latinas do in the Caribbean. They water down their line so that they can create a separation from blackness, so that they can leave poverty and a negative life, because everybody equates negative life and poor and bad things. They equate that to blackness. So the farther removed you can be away from blackness, the better. That is what Ashley has done in her marriage. So when Candace points out that your man is an overseer, Ashley, it is because that is what your life is. Are we going to be offended when we draw the correlation to the NFL and football to slavery? No, because that's what it is. Ashley's relationship is another example of that. That's why Candace can point it out, and it doesn't have the same effect as y'all trying to isolate Candace as a brown-skinned woman on this show and make her out to seem worse than everybody else for saying your mama when everybody else has been saying terrible shit the entire season. It's not the same, Ashley. And you really tried to sit on this fucking stage and use colorism as to your benefit to make Candace look bad. That's what you tried to do. How dare you? How fucking dare you? I'm sorry, y'all. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's making me even more upset because it's like you really tried to use the plight of colorism against the person that it actually negatively affects. Like, girl. Oh my God. This is why I can't deal with Ashley. Anyway, this is when Candace does the smart woman thing, y'all. Candace turns the tears on and she says, but Ashley, I will never forget that you went, I'm gonna cry, and you signed a statement on me, bitch. You went to the federale hood on me, Ashley. And Giselle comes out of her mouth and says, well, you know, she wasn't trying to hurt you, Robin. She wasn't trying to hurt you. Yes, she was. What the fuck are y'all talking about? We said this last season. I said last season that if Ashley decided to take up Monique's back and go and write that statement, then she needed to be okay with the fact that the relationship between her and Candace was over. It was never going to be cool again. It was never going to be cool again, y'all. The relationship between Candace and Ashley was going to never again be able to be cool after Ashley wrote that statement. And I'm not saying that I blamed Ashley, because I didn't. And I still don't, because Monique is your friend. So if you're going to defend your friend against somebody who you really don't like, then that's fine. But don't sit up here and act like you weren't intentionally trying to hurt Candace, because you were. You were intentionally trying to hurt Candace, bitch. That's why you did it. That was catchback. That was catchback for all of the things that Candace had said that had really hurt you and bothered you, because you know that she's telling the truth as it pertains to your, house slave overseer relationship with Michael. Nobody's calling you a slave, Ashley, but your life mimics the life of a light-complected, racially ambiguous house slave that is trying to get out of her slavery circumstances. That's what it mimics. It's not that you're actually a slave, but your life mimics a form of racism, my love. It's okay. A lot of our lives mimic a form of racism. We live in a system of racism. But Ashley, you didn't give a fuck about Candace last season when you did this. So now that Candace is saying I was hurt by that, and that's why I will never see it for you, that is fair. That is fair. Thank you, JW, for the super chat. Michael and G are one in the same, but Ashley condemned G. Yeah, they are. Actually, Michael's a little bit more worse as far as I'm concerned, but we'll move on from there. Actually, he may not be worse. We just had more time with him. G likes women and Michael likes the boys, which is probably why Michael is able to get away with things. It's because he's doing it to men. Anyway, moving on. Why I need to chill? What I did? Candace and Ashley were at Fashion Week together. She can be cool with Ashley, but she can't forgive her signing that statement for Monique. And Robin says she regrets hurting you, so you can move forward. And Candace says, I don't know. Whatever. Wendy goes through her surgery. She got, a healthy BBL. Okay. Y'all make sure y'all go to reputable doctors and all of that shit. Robin and Giselle were policing Wendy's body. Apparently, you can't be professional and sexy at the same time. Robin, you did call her loose, and y'all called her loose. You know what loose means. And the entire season, y'all were trying to make it seem like Wendy had all of a sudden lost substance and all her smarts because she decided to get her titties and her body done. Y'all were acting out of jealousy. Y'all are haters. Y'all were mad. Wendy showed up looking good. And Robin, you're sitting there looking a fucking mess because you're depressed. And Giselle, you're sitting up there looking a fucking mess because you don't feel like you have to try. And you don't like the fact that Wendy has a superiority thing. Like, y'all don't like that. And I feel like Wendy shows up looking good, talking to y'all very quickly, keeping her cool. And that's why Robin gets so agitated with Wendy, because she can't do to Wendy what they did to Ashley. She can't do to Wendy what they do to Karen. She can't do to Wendy what they do to Candace. So that's why she's just so aggravated with Wendy, because they can't just dismiss Wendy the way they dismiss Karen for being a crazy old lady, the way they dismiss Ashley for now being a minion, the way they dismiss Candace for being young and under Dot's thumb. That's why they have to always bring up Candace's mom, so that they can keep her in this childlike position so they can continue to son her. And see, when you can't son somebody, you don't know how to handle them. And that's the issue with Wendy. Y'all can't son Wendy, so y'all don't know how to handle her, because she is intellectually more astute than you, and everybody knows it. So her coming up and being physically in a better shape and more attractive or whatever, her being more shiny than y'all this season, I think y'all were bothered by it. And I think y'all chose to zero in on that, along with the rumor. I think Robin and Giselle talked before the season about what the assignment is going to be. And then they stick to that assignment the entire season. Giselle says that she was acting so different when she got into it with Mia. And I'm like, y'all said that, and I didn't see it at the time. And I still don't see it. I feel like that was no different than when she got into it with Ashley, just like Wendy said. When I got into it with Ashley last season, like, I went at her in the same way that I went at Mia. What are we talking about here? And I also want to point out once again that I feel like Mia was antagonistic. What you touching my shoulder for, bitch? I told you not to touch me. You touched me again. If Wendy would have punched Mia in her face, I would have been okay with it. Just saying. Wendy says that I eat these hoes up easily because people think she's rehearsed. It's like, no. Okay? She's not rehearsed. Let me tell you who was rehearsed. Nene was rehearsed because her reads were written on paper and we saw it. Giselle is rehearsed because her reads only happen in the confessionals. Who else reads are rehearsed? Karen wishes her reads were rehearsed. They might be rehearsed, but she forgets the way they're supposed to go, so the rehearsal doesn't even matter. Yeah. And Ashley doesn't read. Ashley finds the spots in your life that can be used to kind of make her seem like she cares, but really it's to make you look bad, and she will zero in on those things. It's the way she went at Wendy, the way she went at Chris. It's all this fake, disingenuous concern, but at the same time, I'm dragging you. Have y'all ever seen Our Kind of People? Do y'all remember when Lauren, a couple of episodes ago, got up there at the cotillion and embarrassed Angela's daughter Nicole about not having a dad and how hard her life must be? That's what Ashley does to people. It's I'm pretending to be nice and care when really I'm trying to humiliate you. And I'm doing it with a fake sincerity in my voice that comes off like a white woman. Okay. So moving on from there. But yeah, I don't think Wendy is rehearsed at all. I think Wendy does this for a living and therefore can read you hoes very easily. And there is a rhythm. Y'all, I don't know if y'all noticed, there is absolutely a rhythm to the way I talk. So yeah, no. And I have notes. And most of the shit that I say off the top of my head, it's still not rehearsed. The notes are to make sure I don't forget anything. But the rhythm in which I'm hitting you hoes with the reads, child, off the dome, happening in the moment, okay? And the ability to read comments and do it all at the same time. Child, pat yourself on the back. Anyway, so the candles. The candles are off brand. Y'all, when somebody gets on a reality show, they no longer want to stay in an intellectual place exclusively. The candles are not off brand. Y'all are trying to make it something to make it seem as if Wendy is so different. But she's doing exactly what you're supposed to do when you no longer want to work for people. You get on a reality show, okay, and you use who you are to get you on a reality show. You get on a reality show and then you quit all of those jobs and then you start having businesses and you use the crowd of people that like you on the show to support your businesses. This is what Wendy is doing. There is absolutely a blueprint for this shit. It's not out of character. It's actually what she's supposed to do if she doesn't want to continue to have to punch somebody else's clock. That's what it is. Okay. And Karen says that it's always been candles and sheets. It's always been that. And I do agree that I feel like Karen was always going to go this route with her line, but I do feel like the other girls probably made her rush to get those things done. The Eddie rumors from All About the Tea. Wendy says you brought a lie to a crowd of millions and says, yes, giving it air. Andy says, yes, you were giving it air. Andy, you had moments during this reunion where I was like, thank you, Andy. So you didn't do so bad this time around, but I also feel like it's probably because you knew at some point Nicki Minaj is going to come in and swap out with you. So you were going to give all your best at that time frame and you were going to go in the back and chill out and not have to do all of this. So I do appreciate Andy for having some moments during the show where he would bring things back around or he would mimic what the viewers were saying. Thank you for that. Because so often we feel like you're not fucking listening to us unless you want to use it against one of the housewives. Moving on from there, yeah, I don't care about all those candles, y'all. I don't care. Like, if y'all want to support them people's candles, that's fine. But Mia is another one jumping on a bandwagon with her bored ass. If you so busy, bitch, please go do something. You got all these successful businesses. Why do you need to come out with a candle? Especially when didn't she steal the idea of the candles from somebody? Y'all, I gotta go. I think that man came here earlier than he was supposed to. He was supposed to be here for 4 and I have 10 minutes. Okay, so he's just gonna have to wait for a second. I'm about to be done anyway. So Giselle says that it wasn't true. And she said it wasn't true. And Wendy says, here's the thing though. You tried to make my husband cheating a storyline by saying that I got my body done because of it. And that's where you made the mistake because that's misogynistic for you to assume that me as a woman, I could not make these changes on my own. I had to be making them for a man. So let me ask you, you got a tummy tuck. Did that keep Jamal from leaving your ass? The show ended. You know why? Because it didn't. It didn't. That's why that was stupid for y'all to say. Because no amount of surgery is going to keep a man that don't want to be kept. So that line of questioning, that line of thinking is fucking stupid. So yeah, y'all. I think I've given y'all everything I got to give y'all. It was almost 2 hours. I didn't even notice there were like 1,400 people in here. Thank you so much. Please don't forget about the Ooh Ladies First panel on Wednesday night. Okay, 8 p.m. Central Time on my channel. Y'all make sure y'all come through. I love you guys so much. I appreciate y'all for sticking around and being here all in the chat. Even those of you who have been here just so you can keep saying the same crazy shit over and over again. Do me a favor, start your own channel, okay? Start your own channel. Get the fuck out of my chat, okay? Thank you. I love you guys, and I'll see y'all later because I gotta go. All right.